Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for the Tech Guy is provided by CacheFly. CacheFly.com. Hi, this is Leo Laporte, and this is my Tech Guy podcast. This show originally aired on the Premier Networks on Sunday, December 18th, 2016. This is episode 1350. Enjoy. The Tech Guy podcast is brought to you by the Ring Video Doorbell. With Ring, you can see and talk to anyone at your door from anywhere in the world using your smartphone. It's like caller ID for your house. Go to ring.com/techguy and get up to $150 off a Ring of Security kit with their limited time offer. And by Rocket Mortgage from Quicken Loans. Rocket Mortgage brings the mortgage process into the 21st century with a fast, easy, and completely online process. Check out Rocket Mortgage today at quickenloans.com/techguy. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the Tech Guy. Time to talk computers and the internet and home theater, digital photography, smartphones. We got smart watches. We got virtual reality headgear. We got self-driving cars. Unless they're in San Francisco, then they're just cars that drive themselves. 8888 Ask Leo. That's the number. If you want to call and ask a question, make a suggestion, make a comment, 888-827-5536. That's toll-free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. Outside that area, of course, you can always call toll-free when you use Skype. Skype won't cost you anything. 888-827-5536. I'm joking because Uber, Uber has self-driving, what do you call them? You don't call them taxis. I guess, taxis in San Francisco. And City of San Francisco says, well, you can have self-driving, which I think is very forward-thinking of them. You can have self-driving, whatever, doohickeys, but you need to pay $150 for a self-driving car license, which I find very interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of, wow. That's very forward-thinking of the city of San Francisco. Many places, they just say, no, you can't do it. Uber says, no, we're not going to do it. Because you got to explain to us, San Francisco, what the difference is between what we're doing, because they have a driver sitting in the driver's seat. Maybe you saw the video of the self-driving Uber whizzing through a red light in San Francisco the other day. Then Uber said, I don't know whether I should trust them or not, but Uber's response to that is, oh, that was the human. Oh, that makes me feel better. That wasn't the computer. That was a human went through that red light, whizzed through there, almost hit a pedestrian. That was a human. They say, since there's a human sitting there, whether the human's driving or not, then that is just, they say, what's the difference between that and a self-driving Tesla? Huh? I ask you. So, I don't know what to think about that. It's only $150, but I guess they say it's the principle. Now the state of California is saying to Uber, enough. No more of these put these cars in park. So all started this week on Wednesday, a fleet of autonomous Volvos. I'm curious if anybody listening has driven in these, because I'd like to know what the experience is like. It started this test without asking for a permit. I guess it's not the city of San Francisco. The state of California says, Uber says the state of California say vehicles that don't require a human supervisor are autonomous. If you have a human there, that's not autonomous. The mayor of San Francisco says, stop this unpermitted and unlawful testing of autonomous vehicles. Uber's response, according to Wired, is, come at me, bro. Well, they didn't say it quite like that. We respectfully disagree with the California DMV's legal interpretation of today's automation regulations. This is just the beginning, and we're going to see these battles all over the place. Uber seems to be they like to fight, don't they? This is in their DNA, because when they started, of course, all over the country, they were fought in every jurisdiction, every city, by the taxi cab owners who said, you can't do that. You're a taxi, but you're not applying for the taxi medallions. You're not following the rules. And they won and lost in various cities. Became a multi-billion-dollar company that loses money like crazy. I should point that out. At no point has Uber ever made any money. In fact, they've shown a real ability to lose money at a rapid clip. But they're valued in the multi-billions by investors who say this is the next big thing. This is going to be so huge that this is how it works these days in the stock market. In fact, it's better off, not the stock market, the VC, venture capital market. You're better off if you make no money, because then you can, because if you make, let's say you make $100, then the investors will value it at some multiple. Well, you're worth 10 times what you make. You're worth $1,000. But if you lose money, well, they're not going to say you're worth a negative $1 billion. They're going to, well, let's look forward to when you'll start making money. How much is it worth? Uber is currently worth, depends who you ask. Depends, who, if you ask an expert or the people who are investing in them. According to the people who are putting money in Uber, it's worth $66 billion. $66 billion. But that's based on an investment from venture capitalists of $12.5 billion, and you get a certain percentage of the company, and you multiply that times 5, and then you get the total value. Is it worth that much? I don't know. But boy, they love pushing the envelope. They certainly do. We'll watch with interest, because I drive a Tesla. I like the idea. I turn on the. It shouldn't be called autopilot. It's a smart cruise control. It's a smart lane. Staying in the lane. What do you call that? Lane assist. It stays in the lane. It steers. And actually, there's one thing that's a little creepy. It does, but no creepier than a self-parking car. And Ford's had those for years, right? The cars where you push a button and it parallel parks for you. But when you're driving along in your Tesla and you've got the autopilot on, if you hit the turn signal, it'll change lanes for you. Now, presumably it looks, although I've never trusted it to look. If I'm in crowded traffic, I never use that feature. Once I did use it once, and it practically cut off the guy behind me. And I thought, no, that's too aggressive. I don't want to do that. It made me nervous. It was a little too close. So I wait until there's a gap, till I would actually change lanes. Then I hit the turn signal, and it does. It changes. It's a little creepy. Speeds up a little bit, changes lanes. It's a little weird having a robot drive you. That's the extent of its autonomy. It's not really. It's not self-driving. Well, I guess it's self-driving. I'm not clear, and this is why if you've driven in these new Ubers, I'm curious what they are doing. If it's the same or different. Uber also owns a company called Otto. They bought Otto, O-T-T-O, that drives trucks. In fact, you may remember a couple of months ago, the self-driving truck that delivered 25,000 cans of Bud. The driver literally, and this is actually terrifying, and I hope this is not what they're doing in the Uber cars in San Francisco. Literally, the driver climbed in the back seat and took a nap. Would you do that in a 18-wheeler barreling down the highway? Let the computer drive? Well, we'll see what happens. Uber says, we're going to fight this. We think it's no different than a Tesla. You don't require Teslas to get licenses. Why? It's only $150, but it's a principle, right? That's when you know you got trouble, when people are saying, well, no, but it's the principle. That's when you know. Oh, boy. Oh, this is going all the way to the Supreme Court. It's the principle of the thing. The cars do require a human operator at the wheel. He doesn't have to have his hands on the wheel, apparently, which you do have to have in the Tesla. Tesla will get mad at you if you don't have your hands on the wheel. It starts to bug you. after a while it says, put your hands on the wheel. I'm not going to continue here. Anyway, that's one of the stories we can talk about. We are headed in that direction. Self-driving vehicles. What else is going on? There's a kind of is it a scandal? We'll talk about it next hour. A scandal brewing over this Magic Leap Technologies, whether it really is real or not. We'll talk about that when we come back. You know what? I want to take calls. That's the most important thing here. 8888 Ask Leo. Your calls are next. Let's dance. Put on your red shoes and dance the blues, Kim Schaffer.
Good morning.
I'm doing my David Bowie impression. Good morning. How are you?
Great.
You're looking very festive. Our last show of the year. Our last,
ready,
I don't want to scare people. There will be shows next week and the week after, but it's Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. So we thought we'd take some time off and replay some Oh, look. Somebody just turned on the Christmas lights behind you.
Now it's really festive. Wow. Well, hello. What are your plans for the holidays? I don't know. I don't know what to do with myself for 10 days. I'm from the radio world, and I've never had holidays off in my life. I've always worked them all.
The only reason we're not working is because it's literally Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Because if it were Thursday, Friday, I'd be here, as I was last year. Yeah. It was Friday, Saturday. I was here last year. But I figured, why not give the staff a week off?
Yeah.
And I'm taking advantage of this because the day after Christmas, we're going to go back east and visit the polar vortex.
And your mom.
And my mom. In that order. No, my mom first, polar vortex second. I'm going to do a tech day with my mom. I'm really excited about this.
What are you going to give her?
So I got her, those new mesh routers where because she has a router which I set up years ago. It's time for a new one, I think. Mm-hmm. And she has she's an artist. She's 83, but she's an artist. She has a little studio in back, and she always says, "Oh, I can't get the internet out there." Right. So I'm going to set up those. I got the Google Wi-Fi. We have the Eros at home. I got the Google Wi-Fi for her just to try another one. I've set it up. It works pretty nicely. So I'm going to set that up for her. Then I got an Amazon Dot, the little tiny Echo thing. I'm going to set that up for her so that she can, ask for music. Mm-hmm. She has a speaker that I gave her a while ago, a big, tall speaker system. And she can have it read books to her, which is kind of cool. Sure. And then I'm not stopping there. I'm going to put in the Ring video doorbell that we advertise. I'm going to put that on the front door so she doesn't have to jump up. It's hard for her to move around. She's getting on. She doesn't want to have to jump up every time the doorbell rings. So I want her to see who's at the doorbell. And then I'll probably set up that Simply Safe security system in there too with the cameras and everything. So she feels cozy, warm, safe. And then what I also do every time I visit, which isn't often enough, I'm sorry to say, but is I go through all of her stuff and make sure everything's up to date and work. Do you do that for your family lives around here, right?
My mother does not touch. My parents don't touch computers.
Oh,
my
so
dad
you're
has
safe.
a flip phone,
Yeah.
and my mom has an iPhone. And the only reason she has that is because I made her
safe.
get it when they were driving cross country because I didn't want to have to look up every gas station and Walmart for them along the way. So,
do they call you and say, "Honey, is there we're out on Route 80 in Kansas. We're near Wichita. Where's the nearest gas station?"
If I did not insist she get an iPhone,
Wow.
that would have happened.
Wow.
Yes. So I don't have to set up anything for
Good.
them. But I'd like to be your mom so I could get all those.
Well, I just,
fun
I think a lot of geeks are doing that. And if you're listening and this is when you're visiting family, I think this is a good time to do that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
You're a good son.
encourage you all to do that. And if you want help, I'm here. I'm here to help. Let's take some calls. In fact, that's how I help.
Yeah, Greg
that's
needs
how I
help.
do it. So who should I start with?
Greg in Toronto, Canada. He lost his iPhone and he wants to know more about this whole Find Your iPhone feature.
Oh, okay. Hi, Greg. Thank you, Kim Schaffer. Hi, Greg. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hey, Leo. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Oh, we're staying warm up here.
How cold is it in Toronto? I've been, I used to go to Toronto 1 week a month for years to do a TV show up there, and the coldest I ever got was 5 below Fahrenheit.
Well, today it's -6 Celsius, which I think is 21 degrees Fahrenheit.
Cold enough.
Yes.
Actually, it was 27 here in California overnight Fahrenheit. We got pretty cold. We had a little frost on the pumpkin, as they say.
There you go.
So what can I do for you?
Well, a few weeks ago, I was trying to escape from the cold, and I went for a vacation down in Cancun, Mexico.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Except that...
you went to Senor Frogs, and your phone stayed there.
Well, I don't know where I lost it. It's somewhere between Toronto and Mexico.
Wow. So it's an iPhone, and you do have to turn on Find My iPhone first.
I did all that.
Oh, good.
Obviously, when I got onto the plane, I put it into airplane mode.
Oh.
And I've been watching for a while now. It's never come back online. It's constantly showing offline.
In a way, that's good news. It means it wasn't found and taken over. It's actually hard to do that with an iPhone. I don't know if you've noticed this, but Apple's done a lot to make it hard for bad guys to steal iPhones. iPhones for a while were the #1 target, of theft. And so what Apple did now is to reset an iPhone. First of all, did you have a screen lock on it?
Yeah, I had a screen lock.
Good.
I had a complicated password.
Excellent.
I had, my fingerprint.
Bravo. So then in order to get that to work, the bad guys would have to reset your iPhone, and they can't do it. If you've ever tried it, you'll notice it asks for your iCloud password. You have to actually log in before you can reset it. And that's to prevent people from stealing it, resetting it, and reusing it. So that's probably what happened is somebody found it, said, oh, goody. And they turned it on, and it wouldn't unlock, and they couldn't figure out how to do anything with it. So it's somewhere. Or maybe it's in a lost property bin. But I don't know what there is at this point that you can do. It's not like you can figure out where it is.
Really, the reason I was calling, Leo, was that, I decided at the end of the day to cut my losses. Yeah. I went, initially I marked it as lost, and you have an opportunity
with
to
your
put
carrier.
a little message in there that would appear on the screen, right?
Right.
Call so-and-so.
Yeah.
So eventually I said, okay, erase all the settings. And I just said, okay, it's gone. I'm never going to see it again. It's funny, though, after I did that, within 12 hours, I was hacked into my Hotmail account, my Gmail account. I had a notification someone was trying to access my Facebook.
Ooh.
And I was wondering if my action to try and erase the settings somehow did that.
Not that I know of.
It didn't make sense to me either, but that's why I called you.
Yeah. That's an interesting question. One would hope Apple makes it hard to do it if you're the bad guy, and they give you this feature that either after 10 tries of the password or doing it remotely using Find My iPhone, you can wipe it. But I would assume that doesn't make it like reusable. But if you wiped it successfully, no, I can't, because if it wiped and was reused, it still doesn't have your stuff on it. Now, it is possible that somebody got it, unlocked it some magic way, and immediately put it in airplane mode so it couldn't phone home. But then it's
wondering if maybe they could connect it to somebody was able to get it onto a computer and unlock it somehow.
Yeah. Not that I know of. Although the FBI, you may remember in the San Bernardino case, found somebody that was able to do that, but I don't think that that's known out there. Keep listening. If anybody knows how this could have happened, let me know. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. That doesn't, on the face of it, seem like. But that's bad if they got all of that stuff. You didn't lose anything else, did you?
Well, I was able to reset it all. I started with my Hotmail, and I got my password changed back, and then I went and did all my other accounts.
What was the Facebook warning that somebody's logged in from some other place that what was the warning?
We're sorry you're having trouble trying to access your Facebook account. Click here to reset. Well, I'm smart enough not to do that.
Good.
So. But the good news is Christmas came early. I got myself a new iPhone 7.
Oh, good. How do you like it?
I like it. To be honest, I don't see a huge difference. I had the 6S Plus.
Yeah.
So
no, there's not.
Not a huge
In
difference.
fact, that was my advice, is it isn't a big jump from last year's phone to this year's phone. There's a few things, the button doesn't move anymore, stuff like that. But and the new camera, did you get the Plus?
I did.
Yeah, I have to say I'm very fond of the zoom on that camera. So your Hotmail got hacked.
My Gmail got hacked.
Gmail got hacked.
Oh yes, and I have 2 Apple accounts. I have a Canadian account and a U.S. account. And I tried to log into my U.S. account to change my password, and that password, the original one, was no longer valid. But
so somebody really got in there and messed with you.
Somebody got a hold of me.
Wow.
But no damage done. And I noticed when I went to erase settings, it completely dumped all my payment cards out of Apple Pay.
Yes. See, Apple does this pretty well. I'm a little. I don't think it's possible, but I don't know for a fact, so I can't say with certainty that that's not related. But of all the companies out there, Apple seems to have the best handle on this stuff.
It might just be been a coincidence.
Yeah, but where did they but then I would worry. Well, where the heck did they? How'd they get in? Because to have all 3 of those accounts hacked does really sound like somebody got something of yours.
Well, I'm not a Yahoo customer, so it wasn't that way.
Yeah. 1 billion accounts hacked. I do not. Do you use a password vault?
I use two-stage or two-step verification on everything. And
well, then that makes it almost impossible to hack you.
But the problem I had was that the cell phone number I used was my lost cell phone number. So, I get a new SIM card and I get a new phone. And
did you get? But you preserved the number. Maybe before you got the new the number changed over. Wow, I have to say it does sound like that they got that phone, but I don't know how.
It seems suspicious, and I agree with you. I think Apple's pretty good on that stuff. So
I'm fascinated. Well, if you can, keep listening, Greg, and maybe somebody will call in, and maybe the chat room could figure it out, or maybe I'll mention this again because I'm very curious.
Can I say one last thing before we go?
You can, Greg.
I phoned in last Sunday, and I was one of the tail end.
Oh, I'm glad you got in. Thank you.
And I tell you, I hand it to Heather and Kim. They took it one step further. They actually tried to call me back yesterday.
Oh.
And
thank you, guys.
You know what? You guys are top notch there.
Thank you so much. Well, I'm really glad that they're top notch. They're top notch. So I'm really glad that they did that. And I'm glad we could get you on. I apologize. I felt bad last week. I thought I was going to get to you, and I didn't.
Wish you all there to Twit family. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Greg. Take care. Stay warm and have a nice Christmas.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, Kim. Well done. Bravo. Jolly good. We'll keep. Greg had a great question, and I don't know, and I'll ask my Mac experts, Renee Ritchie up there at iMore in Montreal, and because it's certainly everything's on your phone, right? If you lose your phone, everything's on there, including somebody could try to log into your Facebook from there. Somebody could. I don't know if you could. Could you really? If you got somebody's phone though, could you steal their Gmail account or your Hotmail account? Because the password's usually obscured. I don't know if they could do that. But if you have and this is why you have a lock screen on your phone. I hope you have a lock screen on your phone. If you have a lock screen on Android or iOS, that should keep the bad guy out. And make sure you turn on the Find Your Phone settings. Both Android and iOS have those. Turn on, if you have it, the erase phone after 10, failed tries to unlock it. There are, always little exploits that can get you into a phone. That's what the FBI found out. They were suing Apple saying, you got to help us unlock this phone. Apple refused. And then the FBI said, nah, never mind. We found somebody with an exploit, a security flaw that'll let us get in this phone. We don't need you anymore. So that exists out there. By the way, this is why Apple didn't want to help the FBI, because the FBI was asking them, well, can you just write an exploit? Can you write a backdoor that we can use? And Apple's point was, well, if we create one, it's going to be very hard to keep it from getting out in the wild. And we don't, the whole job here is to keep these from escaping. It's not that I'm worried about, Apple's worried about the FBI. They're worried about the bad guys. Maybe there is a way a bad guy got into Greg's phone. What do you think? You have any idea? 8888, Ask Leo. Ann's in Studio City, California. Hi, Ann. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hi. Okay. First, I have a question on opening the Yahoo notification.
Okay.
All right. So first of all, I was in my Yahoo account and I saw it looked official.
Uh-oh.
I mean, but I know they make fake things look official.
Good. Yeah, it's easy to do that.
I closed the account. Well, I mean, I went online and I looked up the information.
What did the notification say?
Well, I didn't open it. I was afraid to open it.
Oh, so you got it? Was it an email? How did you?
It was in my email inbox.
Ah, yeah, those things. Don't ever pay any attention to those. Yeah.
Well, okay, so I went online and I looked up, and it showed the letter. It said, "Dear blank, you may have been hacked," but in our letter we do not put clickable links.
Yes.
So then I went back into my Yahoo account and I did open it. It was the same identical letter, except instead of saying "Dear blank," it said my name.
Yeah.
And so the question is, if I had opened it, but it was phishing, but I didn't click on anything, would I have been hacked?
That's a great question.
Like Podesta. I didn't want to do a Podesta. That's going to be...
Don't do a Podesta. He clicked the link, right?
Well, after I found out that, what the information was...
That's going to be the new phrase. I like it. Yeah. Oh, you did a Podesta. Oh, because that's, of course, the chairman of the chairman of the Clinton election campaign who opened a phishing attack and got the whole DNC hacked by doing so. So there's two things that can happen here. Most of the time, depends what they're trying to do. If a bad guy wants to get bad stuff on your machine, he needs to get you to run a program, basically. So there's all sorts of ways to do that. Usually the easy way is for them to put a link. That's why Yahoo doesn't put links in there, or the IRS or anybody doesn't put links in there. And you click that link. It looks benign because the link says, click here to fix or whatever. It might even say at yahoo.com. But the underlying code, and this is a flaw in the way email can be done. The underlying code in that link could actually send you to a different site, could even execute a program. So that's always a hazard. Don't click links in emails. This is why I always say don't do email attachments. If you get an email from Yahoo or your bank or anywhere saying, "Oh no, your account's been hacked," click here. Don't click there. Open your browser, type in the bank or Yahoo's address, and go there directly with your own fingertips. That'll prevent any clickjacking or anything like that. Now, there is the possibility that just opening an email, this is what's really scary.
Okay.
Just opening an email, effectively an email is a web page. That's the first thing you need to know. It's a web page. Just as going to a bad site and looking at a web page and opening an email can cause problems, it isn't supposed to cause problems. But if there's a flaw, what we call those exploits, a flaw, a bug in the operating system, or the underlying code of the email program, or the PDF reader you're using, that's happened before, or the Flash player you're using, that's happened before. If there's a flaw in any of those, merely viewing an email or web page can infect you.
Oh.
The way you avoid that, and this is why we say this so often, it's so important, all the experts say this, I say it too, is update. You want to do your operating system critical updates. Those are patches to prevent exactly that kind of thing. You also want to make sure that anything that can go on the internet, your Acrobat reader, your Flash, anything that can go on the internet is also kept up to date. Now, the good news is Microsoft and all the browser makers now do automatic updates. You don't usually have to do anything. They just happen. That's why, because it's so important that those keep up to date. If you use Adobe products, as long as you've updated them recently, they will keep up to date. Adobe changed the way they do this recently, and they up to date automatically. So if you're being very careful and keeping everything up to date, then opening that email would have been harmless.
Okay.
Clicking a link is no guarantees because that can do all sorts of things. A lot of times what they'll do is it's a link. Here's a common exploit. You see this on Facebook. I used to get these messages all the time. Oh, you won't believe what you did last night. I got the video to prove it. Click this link, and you click the link because you're going, what did I do? I thought I was home. Click the link, and it says, oh, it looks like it's YouTube. Oh, you need to update your Flash player. It's out of date. Well, that happens all the time, right? So you click that button, but it isn't a Flash player that's updating. It's running a program that infects your system. That's the kind of thing that happened to John Podesta. That's the kind of thing that can happen to anybody. And it's why you have to be really, really careful about clicking links and falling down that rabbit hole. But I'm so proud of you. You had the right instinct.
I am very pessimistic about opening mail.
Cynical, yes. Skeptical. Let's say skeptical, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Good.
I wanted to add, if we're through with this question, is that last Sunday a lady called in, and I caught the tail end about Chromebook, but then she went on to TrackPhone because she wanted TalkBack.
Right.
And just on your prior conversation about older users, I got a Chromebook. Because you said it's for light users, just emails.
Yeah, and you don't have to ever worry about those links or anything in a Chromebook.
Exactly, because it's automatically updated.
Yeah, you're safe, yeah.
So then...
Hold on, because we got to take a break. I want to hear what your thoughts are. I'd like to get your review, if you might. Just hang on, though, because they're forcing me to take a break here. You know how that is. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, forcing me. Hold on just a second. Oh. Okay, now you can go ahead, Ann. So you got the Chromebook, and?
Okay, so besides automatic update, it's perfect for elders because you can voice search.
That's right. Chrome has that now.
Mic, and if you talk right away, it says speak now. So if you talk right away, you don't have to say, ooh, okay, Google. But if there's a pause, then the prompt will say, okay, Google.
Right.
Okay, so then, for instance, you say, TSA carry on. And a voice will tell you what the rules are.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, and then there's links if you want more information. And also, you can make domestic phone calls, and you can video chat.
So you love it?
Well, actually, I just got it, so I haven't used all these. So I have to get, the Chromebook for Dummies to see what I can do with it.
Well, just play with it. But you're right. There's so much. I keep forgetting that you can do the voice, which she wanted to do. But what's great is if you got that email from Yahoo on your Chromebook, you could open it. You wouldn't have to worry about it because it's not Windows. The real problem is, frankly, Windows.
Well, I did get a pop-up phishing for Windows, but since I wasn't on Windows, I was worried. But the Close X wouldn't work.
I know. They're so bad.
So, I did escape, and I shut down, but when I turned it back on, it was still there. So I had to go to the Geek Squad, and they somehow did it, and they obliterated from the beginning of time.
Yeah, there's a feature. This is a good one in your settings. If you go into the advanced settings, there's something called Power Wash.
Okay.
And what that does is it goes back to the beginning of time. It power washes the whole thing. So if you got anything on there, it just starts over from fresh.
Okay, so that means I have to create my account again.
No, well, you just have to log in again. Because the nice thing about a Chromebook is everything's attached to your Google account. So when you log in, you could log into any Chromebook. It would look like your Chromebook.
Oh.
So that's the beauty of it, is that there's nothing local.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you power wash it, log in, it's just like nothing happened. Except that bad thing is gone.
Okay. All right, so then it's perfect for elders because if they have arthritic fingers, they can do voice search.
They can talk, yeah.
Yeah, and I said you can make domestic phone calls on it, so she doesn't need to get it.
I know, and at free phone calls, Google's really giving away a lot with that.
Oh yeah,
I agree with you. I started down that road, and then I thought maybe she wants a smartphone because one of the things she didn't have was an internet connection. So she'd have to get an internet connection.
Yeah,
right?
That's why she goes to public Wi-Fi's.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We need to get something that has an internet connection on it. Some Chromebooks do have that. So.
Yeah. So basically, that's how I'm using mine.
Perfect.
I go to our condo clubhouse and I use the Wi-Fi there.
Aren't you, Ann? You're so smart.
So So the question is, eventually we will get individual Wi-Fi's in our own units.
Good.
But I have a question about whether you go to public Wi-Fi or if you just, like I'm using my handset from my landline. Anything digital that goes over the air, it can be intercepted.
Yeah, in public Wi-Fi's, there's a little bit of a risk. It's less of a problem on a Chromebook than it would be if you were using something else. I think you're safe.
On my landline?
No, that's safe because that's encrypted. Yeah,
like if I go onto my bank account and it goes over the air, can that?
No, the cell phone company scrambles that.
But it's not a cell phone.
Oh, it's a landline
handset.
Oh. And so you're entering numbers on the keypad?
Or speaking, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's secure.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for the call, Ann.
Okay. All right. Thanks for the information.
Take care. Our show today brought to you by the Ring video doorbell. I got to mention this because Ring, I got to get a Ring for my mom. I hope it's not too late for the holidays. They got these great Ring of security kits. I thought this would be a really good thing for my mom. 83 years old. She doesn't want to have to go to the doorbell every time it rings. So I'm going to take off her existing doorbell. It's easy to do. I did it at home. Just a couple of screws. Got 2 wires coming out. And the nice thing about the Ring doorbell, it comes with everything you need to do it yourself. So the 2 wires are coming out of the door. You put this little panel on here. Let's see if I can get this out. Okay, so that goes up against the wall. They have a level, so you can mount it level. And then the wires go on the terminals here, right? Then that's permanent. And then this doorbell will hook on that, and they have 2 little screws in the bottom that use a special proprietary head, so they can't be easily removed. They go real flush when you screw them in. It comes with a head, of course, and a screwdriver handle. It comes with everything you need, including a drill bit if you had a drill, and it's got the screws, the mollies, everything. Even look at this, a charging cable. Why? Well, this is the original Ring. It has a lithium-ion battery, good for a year. So once a year, you take it off, you charge it. So this works on even an unwired doorbell. But I tell you why I love the Ring. It's not just a better doorbell. It's a lot better doorbell because the Ring has a built-in camera, microphone, and speaker, and pairs to your internet connection. It also has motion sensors. So once you install the Ring, suddenly, you can see anybody at your doorbell from anywhere in the world. You can see if they just walk up the walk. The motion sensor, you can adjust its sensitivity so you can see everything around you or just a little bit. You can tell it when to notify you. They have Mac and Windows apps as well as Android and iOS apps. The Ring video doorbell, it's awesome. This is the original Ring. They have the new Ring Pro, which doesn't have a battery, so that's only for wired installations. It's a little slimmer. They also make, in fact, every Ring of security kit comes with the Ring solar security sign. Solar powered, so it's lit up at night, but it doesn't need to be plugged in. They have their chime, which rings in your house. If you can't hear your doorbell in parts of the house, you add the chime, just plug it in the wall. It gets paired to the Wi-Fi too. The Ring video doorbell rings your regular chime, but also the little chime. They have the stick-up cam, which is a Ring video doorbell without the doorbell, but the camera, the microphone, the speaker, and it has a little solar panel, so it doesn't need to be wired either. Look, go to ring.com/techguy and get up to $150 off a Ring of security kit for yourself, but also this time of year, what a great gift for a loved one. See who's at your door, catch bad guys in the act, prevent ditch, what is it, ding and ditch, dong and ditch? It's just awesome. And I love knowing, we have people come into the house to serve. I know when they came, I know when they left. I know if they put the little booties on. I love it. Ring.com/techguy. It's a great time of year to take advantage of the Ring video doorbells. $150, up to $150 off. They have a variety of Ring of security kits. Ring.com/techguy. What a great gift for the holidays. Don't tell my mom. She's going to love this. It's going to be awesome. I might just take this one. That's all. Just take this one. Then I'll order another one. That way I have it. Yeah, here's another one. Oregon City Porch. Did you see this? They got a video of the woman taking the package, and the police are looking for her because Ring. I love this. Here she is. Taking the package. Busted. Bye-bye. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. 8888 Ask Leo. Spent some time with Ann during the break talking about her new Chromebook. She loves it. She says you can talk to it and it'll answer questions. She says great for seniors. You don't have to always type if your fingers are arthritic or sore. She says you can make free phone calls with it. You can. The only issue is, of course, you've got to have Wi-Fi or pay for the internet access in the Chromebook. Some Chromebooks come with internet access. I agree with her. Chromebook is a great solution. Howard Chatsworth, you're next. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Howard.
Hi, how are you, Leo?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Fine, thanks. I got a question for you. I've been reading about this Yahoo break-in. I guess break-in.
The thing that makes it interesting. I mean, we learned a month ago that Yahoo had been broken into in I think it was 2010, a long time ago, and 500 million accounts were compromised. But the thing that makes this one interesting, and it was 2013, 1 billion accounts. It's just a magic number. 1 billion accounts hacked. The good news is they got some information. They probably did not get your password, although it would be smart to change your password right now.
Right. I did that, and I was just hoping that would be the only thing that I would have to do. What would you recommend? Because I also have a Gmail account, and I was thinking about maybe taking my real sensitive folders from my Yahoo and put it on my Gmail. What would you think about that?
Yeah, I would do that. I mean, a couple of reasons. First of all, for years I've been saying there's something wrong with Yahoo because we get all of these hacks of email. People's Yahoo accounts seem to get hacked a lot. And I don't see that happening on Gmail as much. So I think there was an indication that this had been going on for years. And I've said on this show many times, why is it these Yahoo Mail accounts keep getting hacked? What's going on? Well, now we know.
Right.
There's never been, to my knowledge, an attack or a hack like that of Google. Google's much better at this. The other reason it'd probably be prudent is, as you know, Yahoo is being sold to Verizon. So Yahoo is in transition, which doesn't necessarily, could be good, but it also could be bad, and it's just unknown. And so, you know, one thing we think often about Verizon, and one of the reasons people think Verizon wants to buy Yahoo is because what they don't really want the properties, they want the customer information. Now, but the thing is, you don't want to get rid of your Yahoo account because then somebody else can get your email address because Yahoo recycles them.
Oh.
So, yeah. So, in fact, Yahoo's even recycles them if you don't use them for a year. It'll say, oh, I guess you don't want this. It'll take it. Which means if you're getting password resets and other things sent to your email address, real problem. So you want to keep your Yahoo account, but I would sanitize it by doing exactly what you're saying, which is taking any data, private data off there, put it somewhere else safe.
What is because I was trying to find an easiest way to take my folders and bring them over to my Yahoo account. Do you know of a way or something you can put on your show notes about how to do that?
So I'm not sure. Where are you storing folders on Yahoo? I don't remember Yahoo having a... Does Yahoo have a...
when you open up your Yahoo email, over on the left side, you can create folders.
For email. For email,
Right, so I can transfer my email into that separate folder.
So Yahoo does have a way of exporting email from a Yahoo account.
To a Gmail account?
Well, one way you could do it, it's a little slow, but Gmail will actually gather your email from your Yahoo account. And I think we'll take... Those folders are... You know, like when you use an email client and you set up folders and you have filters and stuff. Those things are, I don't know if you can get those. Maybe you can.
What, the folders?
Yeah. You can get the data, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Let me think about this. If Yahoo supports IMAP, you could.
I was reading something about the server was a POP server.
Yeah, POP. So the way POP works is you can download everything and it will clear it off. Google, if you set up first of all, set up a Gmail account now. It's a good thing to have.
Yeah,
if you don't already have a Google account, most people do. Go to your Google account, go to Gmail, and if you go into the settings, you can set it up to get the mail from your Yahoo server. using
now,
POP.
Would that be any new email, or would that bring everything that I have in my email, like Outlook would go and fetch it, and then put it in my Gmail account and including the folders? Do you know if it would do that?
It certainly would if you use IMAP. The folders are local, right? So the folders are not, I mean, I know they're on the Yahoo thing, but they're kind of local to Yahoo. However, the folder setup, if Yahoo supports IMAP, and I believe it does, the folder setup is part of your IMAP setup, which so that if you use IMAP to get your stuff from Yahoo on Gmail, it will get everything. But you have to get the IMAP settings from Yahoo. I think yes. I think yes. Now, if you want it local on your own hard drive, then you can use a local email client like Outlook to get it.
Right.
And that would also do it. As long as you can use the MAPI or the IMAP, MAPI or IMAP, to copy it. And I'm pretty sure you can. You just have to, I don't know what those settings are in Yahoo. In the past, you've had to have a paid Yahoo account. And I don't know if that's still the case. Do you have a Yahoo Pro account? Yeah. Yeah, I stopped paying for it, too. After a while, I thought, what am I paying for here?
I know, and I'm thinking with all this going on, I'd like to move all those folders that I have into my Gmail. So you think if I go into Gmail and find that, then it may be able to bring everything?
Yes, it's in the settings.
And then I can delete those folders.
And then you can delete it. That's right. Disconnect Google first. Right, and then delete. You don't want Google to copy the deletion, so disconnect the Google account from Yahoo after you get everything, and then go into Yahoo. And that's what everybody should probably do at this point: is sanitize your Yahoo account, delete everything, delete any personal information, change your address, all of that. But do not delete your account because you don't want somebody else to get your email address. As Archandra is saying, the IMAP server is. And you will need this for Google, imap.mail.yahoo.com. imap.mail.yahoo.com. We'll put that in the show notes. I'm just looking on here. It looks like there are ways to, for instance, get your Yahoo Mail stuff to Outlook. And I think it will get the folders. That's the key, right? You want that organization that you apply to your Yahoo setup. You don't want to lose that. The only reason, if it were 800 million, or it wouldn't be as big a story as 1 billion. But 1 billion is such a big number. And my first reaction, a lot of people's first reaction is, really, there are a billion users of Yahoo? Yes. That's the thing about Yahoo. It was immensely successful. Not very profitable, but immensely successful. And that's the other concern. That's what Verizon's buying, is those 1 billion users. That's where the value is. You're not worth much. They're only paying $4.80 per user. But actually, that's a lot, isn't it? I think that there are ways to do this. We're gonna have to figure this all out. But I'm pretty sure there are ways to do this. Unfortunately, Yahoo is so poorly designed. And Uncle Bick's sending me a link to that email that our last caller got from Yahoo, a forged Yahoo email. Holy cow. What a mess. 8888 Ask Leo. Let's talk high tech. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, will take more of your calls right after this. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. Time to talk computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography, all that stuff. Smartphones, anything with a chip in it. 8888 Ask Leo, 888-827-5536, toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. 8888 Ask Leo. Keith is on the line from Orange County, California. Hi, Keith.
How are you doing?
I'm well.
Leo, I need your help.
Okay.
I have not one, but 3 rogue Android tablets that have all gone over to the dark side.
What do you mean gone over to the dark side? Are they humming? Dum, 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 dum.
They're all malfunctioning.
Oh.
2 of them you have. I have 2 Nexus 7s. They're
Love
both
them.
12s.
Yeah.
Love them. My beloved original Asus Transformer TF101A.
Yeah. All 3 very nice.
Yeah, they were.
What happened?
Until Android screwed it up one way or another. I'm getting fed up with Android. the first one, my favorite one, because I use this to write with. I love the keyboard. I've got the keyboard, the original keyboard with the internal battery for the transformer.
Yeah.
And suddenly, when I go to the file manager and I click on internal storage, the SD card, it'll take 5 to 10 minutes to the file tree.
That's not good.
And this just suddenly happened. What's happening?
Well, I would do this with all 3 devices, which is do a complete reset and restore. And there's an even more, I'm not sure how you do this with a transformer, but there's an even deeper way to reset this where you wipe the data, wipe the cache, and you start from scratch. And I think that that's what you need to do at this point. The internal storage is a drive, right? And as with any drive, sometimes they can get messed up. This sounds like the fact that it's taking so long to read sounds like it's messed up. It might be. How old is the transformer?
Oh, I bought it brand new.
3 years, 4 years?
Yeah, it's been 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah, it might have worn out. I mean, SSDs do wear out eventually.
Yeah.
And that could have. But what I would do is I would not assume that that's the case. I think you want to do a completely wipe the data cache. Let me just see if it's any different in a transformer.
So that one has 4.03 ice cream sandwich on it, which is the last thing that ran on it without being rooted, which I don't want to do.
No, I don't blame you. It's too bad that they don't keep that more up to date. It probably could run, marshmallow if not nougat.
Yeah. Well, I did try rooting it once, and then I reset it, and I had rooted it and put on a KitKat 4.4.4. I didn't really like the way it ran on it, so I wiped it out again and reinstalled it.
That's why they don't do it. I mean, if there's a justification for it, it's that the older hardware isn't fast enough. By the way, another thing can happen to SSDs and older, now that I know you're using an older version of Android, it did happen with the Nexus 7s. The drives, SSDs slow down because they need to do garbage collection. It's called, in the SSD world, it's called trim. And trim wasn't supported until Android 6, I want to say, or 5 anyway. And I remember on my my original Nexus 7, my, 2012 Nexus 7, it was starting to get really sluggish. And then I got an Android update, and it did the garbage collection, and the drive sped up considerably. So you can do this also by clearing all the cache. Generally, the way to do it is turn it all the way off, and then press and hold the on-off button. Once it's all the way off, press and hold the on-off button and the volume up rocker. And you'll get into a menu you've not seen before.
Now, you're talking about with ICS?
It's hardware-based, I think.
Well, and I tried to do, and I've done that numerous times on the Nexus 7s, which one has, the one that is soft bricked has 4.4.4 on it. The other one I have 5.1 on, and it will do that. You use the power button and the down.
Or down, yeah. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down.
And it lets you do a crash clear.
That's what you want, yeah.
Yeah, but with on the transformer, that menu is not there. There's some tiny menu.
Yeah,
on it
that's what I was afraid of, and that's because it's not stock Android. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll need to do a Google search to find out how to do that on the transformer.
Now the other one is my Nexus 7 32 gigabyte 2012, and it has soft bricked. It does a boot loop, and I have tried.
Oh, that's a shame.
I don't know what to do with that. I mean, I've tried.
Now, I would say, by the way, don't get mad at Android here. I think these are just older devices, and they're starting to hit there. Unfortunately, it's really a shame, but these devices, phones and tablets, are not designed to last very long, a few years. Mm-hmm. And I think that is kind of unfortunate because the hardware shouldn't wear out, but I guess the SSD and stuff doesn't.
Well, I had read numerous places that when Google ordered these early Nexus 7s,
they weren't great.
They used the cheapest RAM that they could put in them.
Well, there you go. They were cheap. Remember, they were like $200.
Yeah.
There you go. And Google has not replaced the Nexus 7, which I'm sad about because I thought it was. I'm still using one. I have one sitting in front of me.
Yeah.
It's purpose built. I put a program on here that gives me a countdown timer, so I don't run over the commercial breaks. But it's very helpful for that. I mean, I really love it. And it's just sitting here doing that all day. But it works, but I'm not really challenging it to anything. Now, this is the most recent. I expect Google, and I hope that they will release a new tablet this in 2017, this new year. The Pixel C, it was released about a year ago, was pretty cool. I really liked it, but I wouldn't get it now. It's a little superannuated. So,
am I correct in thinking that Google is like a child with ADD?
Yes. And now it's worse because, and this is the scoop from inside Google. When they turned into Alphabet, remember they did that? They created a corporate holding company that had all the little individual pieces. Google was one piece, but there are other individual pieces all reporting separately as a separate company. And they put in charge the new CFO, Ruth Porat, was kind of what I've heard from people inside Google is that Larry and Sergey are kind of dialed out. The founders of Google, Larry Page is the CEO of Alphabet now, gave Google to somebody else, and Sundar Pichai is running that. And Ruth Porat is running them all. And as the CFO, she has become fairly, I'm told, and I've heard this from numerous sources, ruthless in cutting the fat. Mm-hmm. So the self-driving car projects changed quite a bit. Some of the moon launch, projects are kind of on their last legs. But you're seeing this corporately all over the place. Apple's doing the same thing. So yeah, I think what happens with Google is they try a lot of stuff to their credit, but they also are willing to cut the cord quickly when it doesn't, succeed to the degree they want it to. And if it's losing money, it's gone. So I think that, it's hard to at this point. I don't think Android is such a crown jewel. You're not going to see Google abandon Android. As far as I can tell, they're full speed ahead, putting all the wood behind those arrows, as they say in corporate America.
Well, it seems like more like they ignore the hardware part of it.
Right.
And
now by the way, these Pixel phones, their new phones are great, and that's why I'm hoping that they'll add a third to this Pixel line, a tablet. A 7-inch or 8-inch tablet would be a really welcome thing. I am now recommending for Android phone users, just buy the Google phone. It's great. It's great. I know. It's hard to get. I know. Look, believe me. Asus did a very nice job with those transformers.
Yeah, no, they did. I love it.
I think it's just time to get a new one. I think you've had it for a good long time, and tablets you need. What's happened is remember in 10 years, 15 years ago, the PC marketplace was constant, new hardware, faster and faster. PCs kind of leveled out now. Now it's tablets and phones, new hardware, faster, big upgrades. And I think you need to keep up to date. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Glenn, Canyon County, California. Hello, Glenn. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hi, Leo. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Hold on one second. Let me get you off the speaker.
Absolutely.
So, my wife and I are getting a new house. It's having a bump out with a fireplace and media niches.
A bump out? I don't know what that is. What's a bump out?
The side of the house is being bumped out for the fireplace.
It's got a bump, like a bay window, but for a fireplace. I got it.
There you go. Exactly. So we're having it wired for speakers out on the patio just outside of the living room.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
So my question is 5-1, 7-2. The 1 and the 2, is that?
Are you going to watch TV? Are you going to watch? Is it a home theater too?
Yeah, we're going to put a home theater. We're going to put TV above the fireplace, and then
nice.
We wanted to get a new audio.
Have you had a surround sound system before?
No, we have not.
So it's brand new to you.
Exactly.
So
I'm trying to read up on it, but I'm still confused on the 5-1, 7-2.
So what they're talking about is how many speakers. Obviously, the 1 is always a subwoofer. And in a large space, you might have a .2 because the whole idea of the subwoofer is it's enough to rumble the place. You really feel it. And so, how big is the viewing area going to be? Is it pretty large?
The biggest TV we figured out we could put in is like a 55-inch.
Oh, so you're not going to be far away then.
No.
Yeah,
We're, maybe 10, 12 feet.
So
Like
5, I think 5.1 is fine. So for the 5 is all the surround setups have 3 speakers right in front of you. There's a left and right kind of traditional stereo and a center that's over or under the TV. And the reason is that all of this stuff is mixed with the voice in the center channel, so it looks like it's coming from the screen.
Right. And then we're also having the ceiling wired for the rear speakers.
Nice.
Okay.
That's the biggest issue is the surround speakers. You can get wireless. I don't recommend it. Wired is always better. You're building it now. Perfect time to do it. We ended up having somebody come out and pull wire through the crawl space and into the walls because I didn't want that unsightly wire coming from the TV area to the back. The surrounds are going to be left and right surrounds, and they're going to be at ear height, almost where your ears are pointing. Right? So you're sitting on a sofa, your surrounds will be you'll look left and look right. They'll be right there, maybe slightly behind, but not much. If you have, that's 5.2 or 5.1. If you have 7, then you have higher surrounds. And look, if you ask Scott Wilkinson, our home theater guru, he's going to say, oh, don't stop there. You need Atmos. And that's speakers in the ceiling, too, because every once in a while, a helicopter's coming in, and you don't want the helicopter from coming in front of you. You want it from above. I don't find that necessary.
Okay.
But remember, I was a guy who for a long time thought stereo was fine.
Right, yeah.
So my suggestion is 5.1 is sufficient.
Okay. So the next question is the number of channels. Because I've heard that with these new receivers, you can actually play like the radio in one room on one channel.
Oh, yeah, you can have,
Someone can watch TV.
It's not, remember, we had this in the old days. Remember your stereo would have 2 zones?
Right.
That's all it is.
Okay, so that's something that we have to look for when we're looking for the receiver.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's one way to do it. The negative of that, let's say you have your setup, your surround, you're in the living room, sitting in front of your bump, and you like it, and everything's fine. And now you want to have music in this bedroom. Well, you could have it come from there. But if you want to change it, you have to get up out of bed and go into the living room. And so I've never used the second zone because it's inconvenient. If you really want to do this right, what I would suggest is getting a Sonos system.
Okay.
Sonos is a wireless speaker system beloved by geeks and audio fanatics alike. The sound quality is pretty darn good. They're not very huge. They are a little pricey. But what they do really well is they're wireless. So you could put 2 in the bedroom, 2 in the living room, 1 in the kitchen, 1 in the laundry room, 1 in the basement, 1 in the attic, 1 in the den, 2 in the den.
Right.
Spread them all over. Each system is controlled separately through your phone or your computer. So you could say, play Christmas music in the living room, play Hanukkah music in the kitchen, and play EDM dance music in the den. And all will work. Or you can say, I want everything. We're having a party. And I want dance music. I want the Marvels. I want the Supremes. I want Motown in every room. And what it does that no other system I've found does, except a wired system, is keeps them in sync. So it doesn't sound echoey. Any other system, you're going to have kind of weird time delays and echo. Oddly enough, you move around the house, it's magic. And only Sonos does that. It's really good.
Right. Now, the one receiver that we're looking at Onkyo.
Very nice. I like Onkyos.
Yeah. It does have like a smartphone capabilities where you could actually...
You can control it, yeah. Almost all receivers, Denon does this as well. They have an app. So it's mostly, frankly, if you ask me, it's mostly if you lose the remote control, you can't find it. Well, at least you can control the thing with the app. It's not as convenient as using the dedicated remote.
Right. Okay.
But I would, if you're going to go Sonos does do 5.1 surround, wireless 5.1 surround as well. They have a sound bar, which takes care of left, right, and center.
Right.
And then they have surrounds and they have a subwoofer. And that works pretty well, too. We use that as well. Not as well as having a great Onkyo or Denon receiver with hundreds of watts and a really nice speaker system around you. There's nothing like that.
Right.
Smarsworm and others are saying stay away from the Onkyo. I've had good results with Onkyo, but generally speaking now, most people agree that the best, at least affordable, receiver is from Denon, D-E-N-O-N.
Right. Okay. And then one quick question, 1080p versus The 4K TVs, I've heard that if you're too close, one of those...
The closer you are, the bigger the screen, the better 4K. 4K is like looking out a window. It's very crisp and clear.
Okay.
And nowadays, I would say it's time to start looking at 4K. Content is coming along, mostly streaming, although you can get a Blu-ray UHD player that plays the 4K. The quality is really good. And we're seeing more and more content. And the good news is it's really not much more expensive. Almost everybody's moved to 4K now.
Right.
So I think it's now time. We've just kind of maybe turned the corner, and it's time to probably, especially on 55 inches and up, look at 4K. I wouldn't worry on a smaller TV. The bigger the TV, the more important 4K is.
All right, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Glad I could answer all those questions. Have fun with your bump. That sounds good. Don't put, I know he's going to do this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Don't put the TV over the fireplace, because you'll be looking up the whole time and you'll have a crick in your neck. You want to look at the TV straight ahead if you can. Don't be putting TVs over the fireplace. It's not a portrait. 8888 Ask Leo. You know who's next? Chris Marquardt, our photo guy. We'll talk digital photography right after this. They keep putting the TV over the fireplace. What's wrong with them? Christophe, Mr. Marquardt.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing just fine. How are you?
I'm great. I'm sad because my 24-105 lens is delayed.
Oh, no.
Till January.
No. That is horrible. Isn't that... What's the last time you ordered a gadget and you were like a little kid
all the time
getting it?
All the time. I'm so excited. My AirPods are coming January 12th.
That's your January 12th. Mine will probably arrive tomorrow. I think.
Oh, I'm so jealous because you ordered them right away.
I was in the waiting room at the doctor and I was like, oh my god, and that was just right in time. Yep. I was lucky.
This is why I need Twitter.
I found out through Twitter. Yeah, that's how I found out. And I'm really excited about them. I think this is one of the most exciting products that Apple has released in a long time, to be honest.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm weird, probably.
Wow. It's pretty exciting. I can't wait. I want to get your review next week. Oh, you won't be here next week. You won't be here the week after. You won't be here forever.
So you're taking off 2 weeks?
Yeah. Well, no, because I'm still doing the shows next. I'm taking 1 week off. The week from Christmas to New Year's, I'm taking off.
Yeah. So I will be gone next week, and
we're not doing shows next week.
1st of January, but you're not doing one on 1st of January.
The next show will be the 7th.
The 7th, and for us the 8th.
Okay.
That'll work.
Okay.
Just fine.
Excellente. What are you doing for Christmas?
Well, I'm going. First of all, I'm traveling to Zurich in Switzerland to visit family.
Good.
And then after that, I'll be at the 33C3, the Chaos Communications Congress.
Oh, you're going to that?
Of course I do.
I'd like a report from that. You did that last year, didn't you?
I brought some video. Even though it's always a bit touchy to shoot video there, all the careful lots of privacy concerns there and things. So you really have to be careful. Yeah. You can't just be like a journalist there. You need if you want to be as a journalist there, you need to have someone to mind you.
Wow.
So they do have minders. They have.
But what will they do? Would they hack you or would they beat you?
No, but these are the geeks. They have their laptops open with stuff on that possibly you don't want anyone to see. That kind of stuff. So. It's really. I mean, the Chaos Communications Congress is one of the most interesting things in that respect. It's completely non-commercial. It is pretty much a whole. It's like a nerd geek maker Woodstock sort of thing, and it's huge. I mean, have you been to
DEF CON? Does it compare to that a little bit, or?
It is smaller than DEF CON. I've not been to DEF CON, but from what I've heard is yes, it does compare to a certain extent. Yeah. But I think DEF CON is not non-commercial, right?
I don't know. It's hard to tell.
The Congress and it's big.
They make money and they charge money. So yes, I guess they're commercial.
Yeah, it is. The Chaos Congress is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, Congress in Europe. I think we're talking 13,000 people. So it's fairly sizable for Germany. Cool. And it's 4 days long, and it starts on the 26th.
So cool.
So, I'll not get a lot of
how
sleep
long? How
there.
many years have you been going? I mean, it sounds like.
This is just my second year. This is just my second year. Okay. It was really hard to get tickets.
You're not. I wouldn't call you a hacker. Are you a hacker?
I'm a computer geek. I used to be.
Well, I know that. Yeah, no, I know
that, but I'm not a hacker. No. I mean, I did my share of breaking into colleagues' workstations and stuff like that. But,
what a revelation!
Goodness. I live a bit on the command line every now and then.
I live on the command line. All right, here we go. Chris Marquardt is going to get you to take more photos. He's here. He's our digital photography guru. Joins us each week. His website, discoverthetopfloor.com, features not only his photos but his workshops, and he's always traveling all over. You're going to Switzerland. How fun for Christmas.
Yeah, just for family visit.
Will you get snow? Do you get snow there? I guess you do.
Oh yeah, I would expect that. Yeah, sure.
Nice.
Absolutely. And some fondue with it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Cheese fondue.
I love fondue. And raclette, right? Do you ever do that?
Yes, we do.
That's where you shave the cheese. It's kind of strange.
You heat it up and then you shave it and then you eat it with some potatoes and things. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, good. Have a wonderful time. Meanwhile, you've got to get us off. Everybody's going to be taking a lot of photos for the holidays. You got to get us going before you leave with some photo tips here.
Well, this time I thought we're not going to go into the deep learning thing as usual, but I've picked a handful of smartphone apps for photography. That a few things that I use every now and then, and I find interesting, and I thought it would be nice to share those.
Excellent.
First is about light. Light is important. I mean, it is important when you go to shoot landscape, wherever you're outside. The time of day kind of dictates what kind of a light mood you will get, what color tint you will get in the light, what angle the light is at. And of course, we know about the golden hour, and then there's the blue hour, which is right after it. Also known as the time around the so-called civil dusk, and
then there's the black hour where there's no sun or light at all.
Actually, there's a nautical dusk and an astronomical dusk, and then there's night. So there's actually different phases during the dusk and during the dawn. And to find those, there's a little app that's called Sol, S-O-L, Sol Sun Clock. That's the name of it for iOS, and then there's a similar one for Android called Sundroid. And those will give you these times so you can prepare if you go to a different place or if you just want to know what's a good time to shoot. Use that and you will have those things together. So that's for the light. There's also another one that I would call more a planning kind of software. And we've already talked about a similar one called the Photographer's Ephemeris, TPE. There's another one that I've recently looked at, and that's called PhotoPills. Photo Pills, and that gives you a whole lot of tools that help you with planning about where the sun is going to be, where the moon is going to be. It also has like depth of field calculation, all these kind of little tools that you might want to have in a camera. But it's especially interesting when it comes to knowing, for example, where and when will I get the moonrise directly behind that lighthouse, or when does the sun shine exactly along 34th Street in Manhattan? That's stuff you can find out using that, which by the way is called Manhattanhenge. I've looked that up. So
I didn't know that.
There's an actual term for that. Yeah,
I see a lot of pictures of it.
Yeah, well, when the sun aligns directly with the grid in Manhattan, the west-east grid, that's pretty much when you Google it, Manhattanhenge. It's a thing. This one's not free. It's about $10. So if you have the Photographer's Ephemeris TPE, then that is not necessary to get PhotoPills. But I found it quite interesting because it has a few additional tools.
Unfortunately, I paid for TPE now, so I'm stuck with it.
Well, then, yeah, keep using that. Android version is supposed to come out in January or February 2017. That's what they announced on the website. So it's not out for Android yet, but it will be. A small kind of utility that can help you get some of your photos digitized, which I recently played with, is Google Photo Scan.
Love that.
That's a free one. So you just drop your photos on a table, and then it instructs you to take like 4 pictures, and it merges them and tries to get the glare out. And a pretty simple way, probably not as fast as the scanner you were talking about earlier, but
no, you know what's good for, though?
We'll do in a pinch.
When you're going for the holidays to mom and dad's, and they have all these great pictures on the wall, and they won't let you take the pictures and take the photo out and scan it.
It's true.
That's when you want this Google app, because you get rid of the glare, because there's always glare because of the glass and stuff. So dust the glass off, and then you can use this, and you can at least get that photo and clean it up.
And it assembles those out of 4 pictures that you take.
Right.
So it kind of it raises the resolution, makes things a bit better than just a plain snapshot. A little video app that I've been using lately for like quick things. You're somewhere with people and you want to have a quick short video about that with some music with nice cuts in it, is an app called Quik, Quik, which I think now belongs to GoPro, and it's free. And it makes it really easy if you shoot like little snippets of 10 seconds here, 5 seconds there. And yes, I know that I think iOS now has something like that built in, but I like Quik a bit more because it gives you more control. If you want to move a clip to somewhere else, it'll let you do this, for example, and then choose from a catalog of music. And it can literally take the time you take to build one of those videos from an hour or longer down to just a few minutes. So that's a pretty interesting thing. I like the results, and it puts cuts in at good places in the music and things. So that is fairly
You know what I love
fun
to do, and I always have to remember to do this, is I'm usually taking stills, but takes no more than 6 seconds of video every once in a while.
Oh, yeah.
Because
every now and then.
Yeah, then you can make a slideshow that comes alive. So it's still, and then there's some video and audio. And don't try to tell a story with it. You're not trying to, edit a package together. But I love it. It's like a moving photo album.
And if it's from the same event, if those snippets kind of have a connection, then the meaning and the story will kind of emerge by itself when you put these together. So you don't really have to think too much about telling the story. The story will kind of tell itself. And last but not least, I think it's almost everyone has that now on their phone, but in case you don't, it's a filter app that will allow you to transform photos by the use of some AI neural network thing into the styles of painters like Picasso or Van Gogh or Mondrian. And it's called Prisma.
I love Prisma.
Prisma is just. I was just amazing what they're doing.
Yes.
I just put a selfie in there in a style of Roy Lichtenstein. I mean, it's wow,
so cool.
Really cool stuff. Pretty amazing what it does.
There are other programs that do this, but Prisma is doing some sort of. They upload it to the server and they run some sort of artificial intelligence on it. It's different.
It knows where your face is. It knows where your eyes are. I mean, it takes things into account in the photo. It's not just putting some weird filter over everything, like pouring some sauce over something. It is really kind of taking into account what's in the picture, and that. I for the longest time I've resisted putting it on my phone, and I just did, and it's like, wow, I should have used this a bit earlier. This is pretty amazing.
And I'm taking my Snapchat spectacles with me because I want to record.
Oh, you have those?
Yes, I got some. Oh, I'm so excited.
I just have new glasses. Those are analog.
I thought they might be Snapchat spectacles. I don't know.
No, they're not.
Chris Marquardt is the photo guy. Have a wonderful holiday, Chris. You find him at discoverthetopfloor.com. We'll put all of his tips, of course, on our website, techguylabs.com. And don't forget our assignment. What's the topic
Faces
again?
in things. Faces in things.
What was the word? Pareidolia?
Pareidolia.
Places and things. Pareidolia. Take a picture. Just tag it with places and things because I don't know how to spell
faces, not places.
Just faces. Faces and things.
Faces in things.
And, faces in things. Like faces when you see a trunk of a tree and it looks like the old wizard.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Tag it with faces in things. Upload it to our Flickr group. And when we get back, we'll review some of those images. But you got to be looking at the clouds, looking at the trees, looking for that stuff. Thanks, Chris. Happy holidays.
You too.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Somebody was in a hurry. They took you out of the screen. It's like, oh, he's done. I was talking to him. It was like,
that was Berg messing with me.
Berg, don't mess with Chris. Well, love to you and Monica. Have a wonderful holiday.
Yes,
I forgot the billboard. Oh, I'm in trouble now. It's supposed to go at the beginning and the end. I'll do it. Oh, right. Thank you, Chris.
All right. See you on January the 8th. Have a great time.
8th. Holy
and
cow.
in Germany, we say Guten Rutsch.
Guten Rutsch?
Guten Rutsch for get well into the next year.
Oh, I like that.
Rutsch is to slip. So you kind of
good
slip
slipping?
Into good
slipping.
Yeah. That's what we do.
Guten Rutsch.
Guten Rutsch.
Okay. We kind of have a Germanic Christmas because we went to that silly store in Rothenburg.
Rothenburg ob der Tauber.
Ob der Tauber. Yeah. I can't remember the name of it, but they sell all this silly, kind of kitschy.
To American tourists.
Yeah,
right?
kitschy German cuckoo clocks and I have all the wind thing with the candles and blows and all.
Did you bring a cuckoo clock?
I bought a cuckoo clock. Yep. I love it. I'm the only one who loves it. Everybody else in the family hates it. When we go on vacation
as a child.
Well, that's what it was. I grew up with it as a child, so it has this fun memory for me. But everybody, when we go on vacation, when Lisa and I leave town, Michael immediately stops the clock. So that's enough of that, because it goes tick, 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 and every half hour goes cuckoo, and it plays Edelweiss.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's very
not the
kitschy.
One. It's a digital one.
No, it's not. No? It has little people come out dancing around and.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's a real cuckoo clock.
You bought a real fancy one. Then.
I'll Snapchat it and you can see it. What's the name of that lady? Kathy somebody. She has the kitsch store, the German kitsch store.
German kitsch store. Wow. Yeah, I try to avoid these places.
I know you don't even know about it, but they're everywhere. Germany Christmas. Oh, what's the name of it? Kate Wohlfahrt.
Kate Wohlfahrt. Okay.
Kate Wohlfahrt.
Yes,
you ever hear of that?
Known. Well, absolutely.
Oh, it's the kitschiest.
I'm aware of it.
It's the kitschiest Christmas.
It is. Yes.
Oh my God, it's terrible. But we went in there and we spent.
Stuff there.
We got all sorts of stuff. It was so much fun. Got a little Santa smoking a pipe. All the. You know what I mean.
You put a little smoke thing in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Incense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There it is. That's the one. Incense smoker Canori. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
We used to have that.
Yeah. I'm sure. It's fun. It's really fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so we have a very Germanic Christmas. But actually, what Americans think of as Christmas is kind of, with the Tannenbaum and everything, is kind of, I think, German.
I think there's a certain origin there. Little wooden frame houses and things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Well, okay. Enjoy the break.
Thanks. Have a great slip well or whatever it is. Have a great
Rutsch.
I'll see you January 8th.
See you then.
Take care. Bye-bye. Guten Rutsch. Guten Rutsch. Guten Rutsch. That's funny. We almost bought a grandfather clock. Lisa really wanted a grandfather clock, but we couldn't really. I didn't want to ship it back. But they have beautiful grandfather clocks. But I love our cuckoo clock. The Tech Guy Podcast brought to you this week by Rocket Mortgage. No wonder, too. Those folks at Rocket Mortgage know that you guys like doing stuff online. You shop online. You buy movie tickets online. What else? You read your news online. You stay in touch with friends and family online. Why should you not be online when you're applying for a mortgage or refinancing your home? Well, Rocket Mortgage is just for you. It comes to you from the best mortgage lender in the country, Quicken Loans. They've put together a product that makes it easy for you to apply for a new mortgage or refi your existing mortgage without ever leaving your couch. It's called Rocket Mortgage, and you'll find it at quickenloans.com/techguy. You can even submit all the paperwork, pay stubs, and bank statements with a push of a button or the touch of a finger. And you'll get approved in minutes because, well, it's all computerized, right? For a loan product that's tailored to your particular financial situation. It's called Rocket Mortgage because it's fast, it's powerful, it's completely online, and it brings the mortgage approval process into the 21st century. If you are buying a new home, or if you're refinancing, or if you think you might be doing it in the future, just write it down. QuickenLoans.com/TechGuy. QuickenLoans.com/TechGuy for Rocket Mortgage. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030. We thank Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans for the support of the Tech Guy podcast. QuickenLoans.com/TechGuy. Debbie in Calabasas is next. Hi, Debbie. Leo Laporte, the Tech Guy.
Hi, Leo. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you for calling.
Sure. So I have this Galaxy S7 Edge, and it's working great. Mm-hmm. But I went in to check the settings, into settings, to look at the user manual.
Yeah.
And it's an international unlocked phone, and it tells you that this cannot be accessed in your language. And so it made me nervous because it came up not in it was English was not one of them. But when you actually do go in, you can you click on the user manual, you click on, go in and say key features, and that's where you get the message in every language. I think that it looks Arabic. It also every other language.
Every language, yeah.
So then it says this user in English. The user manual is not available in your selected language, but it says tap this link to view the English manual, and then it takes you to a website, and which is
so
Samsung.
Silly.
Yeah,
you can download a PDF of the English language version of the manual. I promise you.
Okay, so the question is it safe? I mean, I've gotten this phone that's, it makes me nervous that it still can't recognize English as a basic language.
No, it's safe. So Samsung, like some other manufacturers, not all, but many manufacturers, even Apple does this to some degree, makes a variety of versions of the S7 for different regions. And in fact, if you look at your model number, that will tell you exactly what version it is. I don't know if they make just a generic one. They make European ones. They make South American. They make EMEA, which is the Middle East. They make Asia. In fact, there's several different Asian versions, but it's all the same essentially. Really, mostly the difference is the radios that are in it because there's different cell systems at different parts of the world. Mm-hmm. So I often buy phones, the international unlocked versions, because I want to be able to move it around from carrier to carrier. But one must always check, and it's not trivially easy, the radios and make sure that it's compatible with the radios for the carrier in the U.S. you want to use it with.
It is.
Obviously, it is because it's working.
Yeah.
But what you may find is that it doesn't support all of the data bands. It's very common that it doesn't support maybe some of the newer. Who's your carrier? T-Mobile?
Well, it actually uses the AT&T network through Straight Talk.
Okay. So if your data seems fast enough, I wouldn't sweat it.
Okay.
But that's the only thing you want to check is make sure that the support in the hardware works with the carrier you're going to use it on.
So how do you check that?
Well, you have to go look at the specs, and usually it's not on the Samsung page. I usually go to a place called GSM Arena, where they have specs for all the phones, and they will list there all the antennas, all the bands that the phone supports. Then you have to, this is why it's non-trivial, then you have to go to your carrier and dig deep through their instructions to find out what bands they want. Sometimes you can just, in fact, it might even be easier just to go to, the geek enthusiast sites. My favorite is the developers site. What is it? I can't remember now. I'm having a senior moment, but it'll come to me in a second. But if you go there, you can search for your phone, and there's all sorts of discussions about the various models, and they do it by model number, and that's really what you want to do. So you go into your settings, you go to About Phone, and you look at the model number. And if you get the model number, then you go to it's xda-developers.com, and it says search for your phone, and you search by model number, not Samsung Galaxy S7. because that's generic.
Right.
You want the model number, the N910U or whatever it is. And then you'll get to that form for that model. And among other posts there, it'll talk about compatibility with U.S. carriers.
Okay, so in the sense that if I decide that it doesn't have what I need for my carrier and enough...
Well, it's working well enough, then it's probably okay.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact, maybe this information isn't useful because you'll learn, I'm not getting Band 8. I need Band 8.
I don't care if I can get
working.
my contacts, my pictures.
It's working, and the data's fast enough. I wouldn't worry about it.
And so there's no security issues.
No, none at all. No. No. Okay. Like they put special stuff on there for the Europeans to spy on them.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You're okay.
Yeah, I'm now, after all this hacking.
Hey, believe me, I don't blame you at all. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
I think the prudent thing, for years I've said, the prudent thing is to treat anything you post on the internet as public information. And I tell this especially to kids, don't post anything on the internet you wouldn't want your mom or your grandma to see.
Right.
And it's now, I have to extend that. Remember, when you're carrying a cell phone, you're carrying the most powerful spy device ever made. It has a GPS in it. It has a camera in it. It has a microphone and speaker in it. If somebody gets your smartphone, they know everything there is to know about you, including when you go to the bathroom, where you live, where you work.
Right.
Who your boyfriend or girlfriend is, how many of those you have. It's all, and so you're right to be worried about these things. And just as you can't really make sure that everything you post on the internet will not be seen by grandma, it would be prudent to assume that your phone is always a potential risk. That's why in The Bourne Identity, Matt Damon always, when the girl gets in the car, takes her phone, takes the battery out, crushes the phone, and throws it out the window. Because he knows
you can be tracked.
That the NSA knows all. Now, I watch those movies, and I always wonder, are they overstating the capabilities, or are they understating the capabilities of the NSA? And I don't know. What we don't know is we really don't know. I mean, the Snowden revelation showed they had amazing capabilities, and most of the stuff Snowden talked about was years old. So we don't know what they do today.
Yes.
So presume that they're
more about the average hacker that wants to get into your
exactly
and things like that, because I don't know that the NSA will care about me.
Right. But if the the point is, if the NSA has the capability, if the backdoors exist, then all bets are off, because anybody can potentially use it. So it doesn't mean I don't carry a cell phone, and just understand that the cell phone is leaking information about you constantly.
Right. And the LastPass kind of protects you.
I use all that stuff. I turn on encryption whenever possible. Whenever possible, I use encryption, and this is important because I think a lot of people don't really understand this. I use encryption where only I know the key. If you can call a company and say, I forgot my password, what is it? They have the key. And that means that if a couple of things, a rogue employee, this came up this week with Evernote. Evernote changed its terms of service, saying employees may from time to time look at your notes. And everybody went crazy. Yeah. But the truth is they've always had that capability. And Apple has always had that capability. Apple can look at whatever's on iCloud. And if law enforcement comes to them, we'll gladly hand it over. Well, I don't know about gladly, but they won't stop it. And Google has lots of information. If you back up your data to Google on an Android device,
right?
Do you have a Samsung account? You're backing up data to Samsung. Probably the same situation. So that's what you need to keep in mind. And if something's really private, the best thing to do is not write it down and not put it in your phone.
Right, which I don't. It's photographs.
Right.
They can see my dog. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of my attitude. Yeah. They can see my dog. Big deal.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. So
I'm glad you're asking. These are important questions, though, to think about.
Yeah. No.
I don't want anybody to be paranoid, because what I don't want people to do is go, I'm not going to use that. I'm not going to use that internet thing, because it's so valuable. It really is. But we have to understand what we're trading for the value.
All right. And then the quick other thing is that since it was an international phone, it came with a international plug, and they sent an adapter in the box.
Yeah, that's what often happens, right?
But then that does not allow for the fast charging.
Yeah, you can go get a fast charger.
So I saw that on the Samsung website that you can just get it from
just
them.
get a fast charger.
So that's no issues. It'll be okay.
Yeah, I do that all the time because I generally want unlocked phones. I think that's an understandable thing to do.
Oh, good. Okay, well, that was why, because in case I wanted to change, I've been with the same carrier forever, but...
now you can change it.
Yes, if I wanted to.
It's not carrier locked, and isn't that great?
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for calling. Happy holidays. We're going to take a break. News is at the top of the hour. Lots more to talk about. Another hour to come with the Tech Guy Show, our last show of 2016. So get those calls and letters coming in quick. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the Tech Guy. Time to talk computers and the internet and home theater and digital photography and smartphones and smartwatches and all that stuff. 8888 Ask Leo. Anything with a chip in it. 888-827-5536. That's toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. Back to the phones we go. And Lori is just up the road a piece in Napa. Hi, Lori.
Hello.
Hello. Thanks for calling.
Thanks for taking my call.
Merry
I
Christmas.
need help.
Okay.
I need big trouble right here in River City.
Uh-oh. There is a river in Napa, isn't there?
There is. It's called the Napa River.
Good name.
Kind of like the Petaluma River, only it's the Napa River.
Yeah, our river's not a river. It's a tidal slough, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. It kind of smells like a tidal slough, too. So what's your tale of woe, Lori?
My tale of woe is that I've had an iPad and iPhones for, 5-6 years. The old iPad was getting long in the tooth, and acting very, slowly. So I purchased a new iPad, Air 2, and I set it up manually. I just sat here on my lap and, downloaded all the apps that I wanted.
Right.
And all of that. And now when I plug it into iTunes to back it up, it wants to either...
It says, "Hello, would you like us to make you a new iPad?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or restore it from my old iPad, which apparently is showing the last backup to be January 17th of this year.
Right.
And I always back it up at least once. Well, first of all, I have cloud backup turned on.
Right. So that means you've got it backed up constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd think.
Yeah.
But it's not doing that.
Well, no, iCloud doesn't show up on iTunes. You're only going to see the Direct Connect iTunes backups when you look at the Restore button.
Okay.
So, that's the last time you connected it. If you look at your iCloud, you'll see the iCloud backups, but that's not on your iTunes. So what the iTunes is showing you is the last physical. I'll use the term physical backup for one where you connect, as you've just done, your iPad to the computer. That's a physical backup. So the cloud backup, you turn that on. It's always going on, and you can go to your iCloud account and see that there's stuff there. The physical backup that's the last time you connected it to your computer. Anyway, none of that matters because what you're worried about, and Apple really needs to fix this wording, is that if you set it up as a new iPad, it's going to erase your iPad and start from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
It won't.
Oh, you are so brilliant.
Because that's what I understand. That's what you're really worried about. Because you spent, and this is the thing I hate about the iPad and the iPhone, hours jiggle, drag, jiggle, drag, jiggle, drag, getting all the folders, jiggle. Because, for instance, when you first install all the apps, it spreads them out on 18 pages of apps or however many. And you never know where any app is or anything. I like to put them in folders. I have folders for photography apps and folders for writing apps. And so by hand, manually, you press and hold the icon, jiggle, and then you drag it, and it's a pain. Page after page over to here. But once you've done all that, and it probably took you hours, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to lose that. So here's the good news. Setting up as new iPad will not erase it.
Oh.
It will back it up. And the good news is now you don't have to do jiggle anymore.
Right.
Because when you get a new iPad, You just plug it in and you say restore it from the last setup. So anytime I get a new iPad or a new iPhone, first thing I do is I take the old one, connect it physically, do a physical backup to iTunes so that then I can restore it. And you're right, every once in a while it's nice to start fresh.
And that's what I did. In fact, and what was happening was that my old iPad, when I plugged it in, it gave me exactly the same 2 messages, and it shows the last backup as being last January. And I don't know how that's true, because once a month, as you recommend, once a month, I plug it in and I back it up.
Oh, so you did do a physical backup more recently.
Yeah. I'm just a fanatic about that sort of thing.
Oh, well, then I don't know.
I always do a physical one. Meanwhile, I've reconfigured my old one. All I have on there are just a few things, books and that sort of thing. And so I don't want my new iPad to be, the same as my old iPad. And they're not all syncing. Like when I take a photo with my phone, it's not syncing with my new iPad.
Okay. So that means you have to turn on iCloud. This is another thing Apple screwed up. When they replaced iPhotos with Photos, they changed, and now they have this iCloud photo drive thing. Mm-hmm. And that's how pictures get copied around.
And I have that turned on all 3 of my devices.
And they all are using the same account, iCloud account? Of course they are.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And they're not copying?
No, none of the photos are going. The calendar is syncing. I can get my emails and all that, but the photos are not.
Is your iCloud full? I wonder if your iCloud's full, because that's what it does. The way this works is it backs up originals to the cloud, and then the cloud copies to the various devices size-appropriate thumbnails.
Right.
So if you ran out of room in your iCloud, that might stop working.
Well, I have the base, I think it's 50 megabytes.
5. It starts with 5.
Okay, well, I have the one that you pay $1 a month for.
That's good. Yeah, I think that's 2 gigabytes. Yeah, that's good.
And it shows that I have 32 gigs left.
Good. Oh, good. All right. Well, I'm not sure why that's...
Well, good, except it's not working.
Yeah. I would turn it all off and on again. Apple has not figured this out, and sometimes things don't work quite like they're supposed to. I bet there's a setting in there somewhere.
I'm going to have to call Apple, aren't I?
Yeah, they'll walk you through it. The good news is they're good at this. They do a good job on this. Not better than I do, because I don't have those notebooks in front of me. If I had the notebook, I could say, well, okay, go to settings and tap iCloud. Now turn it off. Now turn it on. My suspicion, everything you just described is how it works. You have enough room on your iCloud. You turn on iCloud Photo Drive on everywhere, and make sure you say let Apple manage my storage. And then what should happen is all the originals, the new photos you take on any of those devices, get backed up to the cloud, and then size-appropriate versions get shared back down to all the other iOS devices. That's the theory. Right. That's the theory. Make sure you have check the box that says "Let Apple manage." That might be the one thing.
Okay.
And iCloud Photo Drive has to be turned on, and you can always go. What I would also do is go log into your iCloud account on the web, and see if the photos are there.
Yeah, they are not.
Oh.
The ones that I specifically have downloaded, maybe from a site.
Oh, yeah. It'll only back up the pictures you take.
Or not.
Yeah, no. Downloads is different.
Okay, well, yeah, but I took a few pictures with
Take a picture of your cat.
Would work.
Take a picture of your cat and see if the kitty shows up everywhere. If you don't have a cat, it doesn't have. It could be. Anything else.
I mean, what am I going to do?
Take a picture of a cloud.
I have, Actually, I have taken photos with this because I wanted to see the quality of the photo.
They should go everywhere, and so you should be able to log on iCloud and see it there. If it's not there, then that's the immediate problem, is it's not getting backed up to iCloud. So look on that device and make sure all those settings are correct.
Right.
It may be set. Sometimes it's you. Also, the other problem I have with Apple is they put settings all over the place. You want to make sure that in the cellular settings that cellular is turned on, and that it's using Wi-Fi. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Maybe just use Google. Google will work. Hey, they cut out the Santa part.
Let me fire some numbers.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Christmas comes each time this year, but apparently not the little guy with the nose in the hat. Rick in Torrance, California. You're next. Hi, Rick. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hey, Leo, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I have a question about the new Google Pixel.
Yes.
I am actually trying to leave Verizon. I've been slowly getting away, getting out of contract.
It's hard, isn't it?
Now the new, I don't care much for them anymore.
Me neither.
I've been with them for about 14 years, but they've screwed me too many times in the last year and a half.
I just want to warn you, they're all terrible, but go ahead.
Well, I over the last year have also picked up a Google Fi phone. It was their Nexus.
I love Google Fi. That's what I use with my Pixel.
And that's where I'm going to go to.
Yeah.
Now, the problem is I'm still in contract with one phone with Verizon. They made a deal with me that if I would pay off that phone, they would turn right around and give me that payoff, which was close to $400, and put it on my account to use towards my future bill.
They're sneaky, aren't they?
And on top of that, if I give them back my Note 5, they'll give me a brand new Pixel for $400.
So you got upgraded. You got upgraded to the retention specialist.
And see, that's the problem. I don't know that I want to be with them for 2 months.
Yeah, the customer retention specialist. It's like Santa Claus with a catch.
So my question for you, and I don't know if you know too much, how different is the Pixel that is sold by Verizon than the one I get from Google?
Right. I had actually, we weren't able to get a one directly from Google right away, so I had my producer buy one. He's a Verizon customer from Verizon, and I used it with a T-Mobile SIM for a few weeks before I got the smaller, because I wanted the smaller Pixel. So I used the XL, Verizon XL. It's functionally identical to the point where you can use a T-Mobile SIM, and it works just fine. The big difference is Verizon. So instead of Google Fi as your carrier, you're using Verizon. You have to use Verizon as your carrier. And Verizon, reserves the right to, well, for instance, hold up updates. They did that with the Note 5. Remember, Samsung in one day, tomorrow, is going to push out an update to all the remaining Note 5s because Note 7s because they're dangerous. They blow up. The update will make it unusable, that you can't use it unless it's plugged in. Verizon says, no, we're not going to do that. It's the holidays. We can't let people be without their phone. That's just terrible. Even if it'll blow up and burst into flames, at least they can use it. And, of course, there was a little hue and cry, and Verizon has backed down somewhat, saying, all right, we'll update it, but we'll do it in January. So we'll give, in other words, you're giving people who have a Note 7 on Verizon a grace period of a few weeks. Is this wise? Well, I don't know, because if it bursts into flame, it's not so wise. On the other hand, it points up the fact, and this is the difference, Verizon can stop updates because you're on their network. So I don't think there's any reason to assume that they're going to do that, but one of the reasons you buy a Pixel phone is because you want all the latest Android updates at the fastest possible clip.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest difference. Hardware-wise, it may be slightly different because it's the Verizon network, but I used it just fine on T-Mobile, which means it would work just fine on Google Fi.
I'm always worried about that, what do they call it, bloatware, where they add all these programs, and I don't want all that crap.
Well,
that's the whole reason
I know.
Google.
Actually, the good news is I was easily able to either uninstall in some cases and disable in other cases the Verizon stuff, and it looks just the same as a regular Pixel phone. I think it would be ideal to buy it from Google. But if they've given you enough, free stuff that you want to stick with Verizon for at least a little, are you thinking that maybe you'll then cancel later and take the phone to Google Fi?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can do that or not.
Now, if my other option, because it's the cost factor, I'm saving about $800 if I go with Verizon.
I know.
But is there older phones, the 6P and the 5X, close to the quality of the Pixel enough that the $800 is worth forgetting about that and just getting the other phone and sticking with Google
Pixel camera is much better. Battery life is pretty good, better than the 6P. 5X had terrible battery life. I used a 6P for a long time. I've replaced it with a Pixel. I'm very happy with the Pixel. The Pixel's a funny thing because you look at it, it's very uninspiring. It's kind of like, that's utilitarian. That's not a really attractive phone. But the more I use it, the more I like it. It's the little phone that can. It just really grows on you. So I would get the Pixel. I would not get a 6P.
Okay.
But you know what? They're going to extend your contract, so you got to watch that because you may be theirs for a long time.
That's why I'm thinking, I might, even though they're baiting me with all these deals, just tell them forget it. If I'm upset with you for the last year and a half, why do I want to be upset with you for the next 2 years?
The other thing that's great is if you travel, Google Fi is a much better choice than Verizon. Because you can go use data overseas at the same rate you use it in the United States. Basically, it costs you no more to use the phone overseas.
And I like that they prorate the data rather than like the other ones. You use one hair over that gig.
No, that's right.
For the extra gig.
Yeah. My Fi bill is always very reasonable. But the phone, the Pixel phone, is overpriced. It's crazy overpriced. So I understand you wanted to save some money that way.
All right, well, Leo, thanks for the advice.
You're welcome. At least the hardware is the same. And I'm pretty sure that, one of the reasons is because Verizon had to sign a consent decree with the FCC saying they would not lock the SIM slots in their phones. So that's why I was able to use a T-Mobile SIM. I can't think of any reason why you couldn't use a Google Fi SIM in a Pixel, even if you got it from Verizon. I would check the internet for that, but I can't think of any reason why you wouldn't. Let's take a break. We will come back. More of your calls coming up in just a second. Brett in Woodbridge, New Jersey is next. He says, I don't want the anniversary update on Windows 10. I don't want it. How can you turn it off? Well, let's talk when we come back. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, 8888. Ask Leo. Let's see. Brett's coming up. Actually, Mike in Calabasas is next. Hi, Mike. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hi, Leo. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, good. Well, except for this error I'm getting on my... I've been battling against this error message that pops up about half a dozen times a day on me. I'm using Windows 10.
Well, tell me all about it, and I will see if I can help.
Okay. The message says sync host _, and then this next 5 digits varies. I have a screenshot. It reads sync host _762 C0 has stopped working, and then gives the option of closing the program. This happened. Now it coincided with when I installed Dropbox a few weeks ago.
Well, sounds like that's the Dropbox error message right there. Yeah.
I immediately uninstalled Dropbox. And that hasn't solved it. Now, maybe it's a thing where it's in my registry.
Yeah. So, how did you uninstall Dropbox?
Went through the control panel and used the uninstall program.
Yeah. So it sounds like that uninstalled some of Dropbox, but not all of. That would be my guess. Not all of Dropbox. Did the error message happen? It happened when you installed it, not when you uninstalled it.
Well, it's been happening. I installed Dropbox, and all of a sudden, I started getting this message. I thought, okay, well, what's the first thing to do? Well, what did I recently install? Okay, Dropbox. Okay, let's get rid of that.
Yeah.
And then, but ever since, it's still, like I said, half a dozen times a day. Boom! Here comes this error message.
Yeah, it sounds like not all of Dropbox got uninstalled. So a couple of things to do. I'm just going to see if there is a. Sometimes programs like this have a more elaborate uninstaller that they offer for download.
Okay.
And so I would look at the Dropbox account and see if they have some sort of, more thorough scrubber. Because it does sound like what you have is a Dropbox service that was installed and didn't get uninstalled when Dropbox was uninstalled, and it's still trying to run, and it's erroring out, right? because it doesn't have all the pieces it needs. So a couple of...
And by the way, I do check the task manager, and I don't see that the program is running in any way.
But you ran the uninstaller for Dropbox. I mean, you ran their official uninstaller. So,
right.
So at first I checked to see. Usually that's sufficient, but maybe they have an additional kind of scrubber. Otherwise, what I would do is believe it or not, reinstall Dropbox and try uninstalling it again. And maybe the uninstaller didn't completely get uninstalled. You should also check, besides Task Manager, you should check your services and see, because Windows runs this stuff as services. And actually, the simplest thing, it wouldn't get rid of the whatever crumbs are lying around, but at least it would stop this error message, and it probably would be sufficient, is to see if you can find a sync host service in Windows and disable it, or
Yeah, I actually have looked for that too. Doing Control-Alt-Delete.
Okay.
There, and then it shows programs and it shows services as well, and I've looked for that.
It's not there here.
No. Are you now? And I also want to know: is it possible? Maybe I'm just saying I'm blaming Dropbox, and maybe it was just a coincidence, and maybe it's possibly something else.
Since Dropbox does syncing, and this started when you installed Dropbox.
Yeah, and I also tried just for HP also does syncing. I uninstalled all my HP programs as well for my printer, thinking maybe it might.
It is. Believe me, there are other things that do syncing. It's completely conceivable. There's other things syncing. It's got to be in services. There's one more thing you might want to do and download from Microsoft. They have a tool set called sysinternals. SYSINTERNALS, sysinternals. And there are a couple of programs that will be useful in this context. One is called Auto Runs, plural. Okay. It's free. And the other one is called Process Explorer. And these are everybody should have these on every Windows machine anyway. They're free. The guy who wrote them, Mark Rusinovich, had a company called sysinternals, wrote these for his company, sysinternals. Microsoft liked him so much they bought the company, and he's now running Azure. He's a big part of the Azure cloud. He's a really brilliant programmer, novelist too, but these tools are really fantastic.
Okay.
And so I would those are just, you've already done those kind of diagnostics because you did the Control-Alt-Delete and Task Manager and looked at services.
Yeah.
You can always also try a system restore. If you have a restore point right before the install, do that.
Okay.
But I think Auto Runs and Process Explorer are useful just to see what's running in there.
Okay. Now, how about trying to actually remove it from the registry, getting into that?
Yeah, you can do it. I'm nervous about that. A lot of people swear by registry cleaners, and CCleaner does, do this exact thing. It will look through the registry, which is where Windows stores all of the instructions to do these kinds of things, and look for things that are orphaned. And if it finds an orphaned thing, it'll remove it. The problem with a registry cleaner is it can't be too aggressive because any change you make to the registry is immediate and usually irrevocable, which means that you can make an unbootable machine very easily.
Yeah,
I'm
very nervous about
I'm always... But now, CCleaner from Piriform is very good, and it has a kind of backup option, so you don't have to, you can get back to the way... That would be the last... If none of the other things we've suggested work, then try that.
Okay. And that was called CCleaner?
CCleaner. It's from Piriform, Piriform. And it's of all the registry cleaners, it's the one I would be willing to try. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
I don't generally recommend them, but this is a good example, and you brought it up, so I'm going to tell you about it.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I'll use it only as a last resort.
Yeah, it should be your last thing. It may not be Dropbox, but boy, that's an awfully interesting coincidence. It's called Sync Host, and you're syncing with Dropbox, and it started when you installed Dropbox. Well, that sounds right.
Yeah.
It's in there somewhere. Sometimes just installing and reinstalling and uninstalling fixes it. It would, like the uninstall didn't finish.
Okay. I'll certainly try that first.
Good luck.
All right, Leo, thank you so much.
This happens so often, these little things. And this is why, you hear me all the time say, don't get a general purpose operating system. An operating system, if you can help it, if you don't need it, and if you need it. And the simpler the operating system, the better it is. But sometimes, you need to launch rocket ships or design automobiles or play Grand Theft Auto 5, and you just need a machine that can do anything. But machines that can do anything often do anything, and that's the problem. The error is probably because the thing the sync host used, there's a service host which runs all the time. But when you say sync host, I think it's got to be Dropbox, right? It's got to be. Now, Brett in Woodbridge, New Jersey. Hi, Brett. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hi, Leo. My question is, I have Windows 10 and the anniversary update. I left my computer on all night because it took nothing happened, never installed, and I have in Windows 10 now, when I right-click on computer, go to management, service and applications, and services, I scroll down to Windows updates, and I turned it off, but I turned
Did
off.
you do the free upgrade?
Well,
Did you do the free upgrade to Windows 10, or did you buy that computer with Windows 10?
No, this came with Windows 10, my computer.
Yeah, Microsoft's new thing is you have to do the updates. So you can usually defer an update. And believe me, I don't blame you for. I would defer when the anniversary update, but it did come out in August. You can only defer it so long. Eventually, you kind of have to do it, and you probably want to do it because then you can't do subsequent updates. And almost always, there's critical security fixes that you need. So I would go ahead and do it at this point anyway. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Our last little segments of the year. Jennifer in Rialto, California. Hi, Jennifer.
Hello.
How are you?
Well,
uh-oh. What's the matter?
Well, my son was playing Roblox on the computer.
Love those.
A couple days ago.
Yeah.
And we got this pop-up. It says, this site says your computer has been blocked. Error number 268D3. Please call us immediately or...
Lies! They're lying at you.
They're lying?
So what happened? Did you call them?
No, we didn't call them. We didn't do anything. My mom has been trying to run all the virus scans she can, all the hackware.
Doesn't mean it was a virus, because it can be a pop-up if you had a browser window open.
Okay.
It could just be a pop-up from the browser. And the scam there is, there's nothing wrong with your computer, but you call them, and they charge you $300 to, quote, fix it. But it's a scam.
Okay, good.
So you're fine, and you may not, chances are you don't even have a virus or anything. If she's run all those scans and doesn't see anything, it just was because a browser window was open. I don't know how the Roblox work. I don't know if Roblox uses a browser window or not. I wouldn't be surprised if it did. Or maybe there was just one in the background, that you left open. And, they just pop up.
Okay. Does he want to hear what it says?
I don't care what it says. It says you've got viruses.
For like half an hour.
Yeah. It says bad things will happen to you, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's phrased in as scary as possible fashion.
Yes. Yes.
You know why? They want
do it.
They want to turn off that part of your brain that actually thinks. Right?
Yeah.
And get you to act. Because if you think about it, you're going to go, well, wait a minute. But you know what? It didn't fool you, did it? Or your mom?
Well, we didn't do it, so I guess that's part of the problem.
It didn't fool you. Is she still seeing that pop-up?
Yeah, it's not. It says if you close it, your computer will shut down.
Close it. See what happens.
Okay.
You left it open for how long?
Oh, it's been a while. We've been running. If you click on it, you click on it and it says okay, and it pops back up and pops.
Shut the computer. Just reboot the computer.
Reboot the computer.
Yeah, it's possible to make a web page that you can't close.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just really annoying. It's not real. Roblox, I'm told, does run in the browser, so that's what's going on. But if you could either just force quit the browser, shut down the browser. If you can't figure out how to do that, just shut down the computer. Reboot.
Okay.
And it won't come back.
Okay. Just was nervous,
Yeah. No, I'm glad you called.
Information, and it has, your credit cards and anything you've bought online, your emails, everything. So we were just paranoid.
Scary, isn't it?
It is.
That's why they do that. So you go, oh, take my money, please. Fix this.
Yes. Thank God we didn't do that.
You're right, because and by the way, I've now had this call many times. They call me in my car and say, "Are you sitting in front of your computer?" I said, "Yes." Well, we have virus. We see viruses on it. You do? Yes. These guys are scammers. Ignore it.
Okay.
And whatever you do, don't give them a credit card, because then they do have your credit card number. Oh, my.
We'd never do that. We'd never do that.
Yes, you wouldn't, because you're smart. And you didn't let all that scare language scare you. But that's why they put it in. It's you'll get emails like that, too, from your bank, supposedly. Somebody's hacked in your account. If you don't contact us within 24 hours, everything's going to be gone. Your life will be ruined, and it's terrible. Quick, call us. And then, of course, it's not. It's not real.
Well, we're trying to restart it right now, and it's not restarting. It says restarting. It says restarting, but it's just kind of frozen there.
Yeah, let it go for a little bit. If it doesn't ever do anything, you can press and hold the on-off button until it goes off. But wait, don't be too impatient.
Okay.
You'll be able to restart it eventually. If worst case, you have to press and hold the on-off button for about 5 seconds, and it'll just shut down, and then you can start it up again.
Okay, we'll do that.
Yeah, the IRS doesn't call you at your home. Promise you.
I do that much.
Yeah, their Interpol is not after you. Do not give money to strangers. And whatever you do, don't let strangers take over your computer. Because that's, by the way, often what these guys do. They say, okay, we can fix this. Give us $300. So you give them your credit card, you give them $300. Now let us access your computer. Now you're giving, that's even worse. Then they are loading you up with viruses and malware.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just a trick.
Okay.
Okay.
That makes me feel better.
And if you have any more problems, call me next time, okay?
Okay, we'll do that.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Take care. It's scary, isn't it? But that's the point. That's the point. They try to scare you. So Roblox, which is a really cool kids toy. I didn't know this, but the chat room's telling me the interface is a web browser. So you do have the web browser running when you're playing with the Roblox. So that's probably what happened. It's not that Roblox had something wrong with it, but there was a tab open maybe, or something going on in the background. It's not hard to do this in a browser. Paulette, Camarillo, California. Hi, Paulette.
Hi, Mr. Laporte. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you very much. I don't have any questions for you, but I just wanted to tell you I know nothing about stereos, I know nothing about computers, and I know nothing about cell phones.
Well, why do you listen to this show?
Oh, I love to listen to you.
Oh, aren't you sweet?
I'm in my kitchen baking Christmas cookies, and I thought, let me give this man a very Merry Christmas wish and keep us going.
Thank you so much.
One day, if I do learn, I will call you back with questions. I can guarantee that.
Well, you know what? I grew up listening to the radio. I mentioned last weekend is my 40th year in radio.
Oh, my goodness.
And I love radio because it is cozy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It is.
We're hanging together.
Yes.
You're cooking cookies. I don't get to eat them, but that's probably all the best, all for the better. And I get to spend some time with you. And I think I am so appreciative of your call. Thank you, Paula.
Oh, you are so welcome.
Are you making Christmas? You're making Christmas cookies?
I am making Christmas
Are they sugar cookies, butter cookies?
I am making sugar cookies right now with all little kinds of sprinkles and things on top of them.
Oh, won't be any sugar cookies for me this year.
No,
but that's
you know what? And I'm giving them all away so that I don't eat them.
Yeah, you're the pusher, aren't you? I know how that works.
Exactly. But I want to tell you about my cell phone that I have. It's an old flip phone.
Oh, dear.
That I have my telephone number printed on the back of it because I don't know what my number is.
Who does?
I know. Every kid in the States does.
Yeah, they're all calling you. That's why.
No, I never turn it on. I never remember to turn it on. So,
Paulette, I'm thrilled. You know what? It's a great way to end the show and end the year.
Oh, good.
Because I do want to tell people, although we talk about all these new shinies and we talk about technology, I don't think anyone should feel pressured in any way to use or buy this stuff. Frankly, The world was better, easier, and simpler when we were just baking sugar cookies.
Exactly.
And people couldn't reach us, and we just were listening to the radio and enjoying life.
Yes.
So you're not missing a thing, Paulette.
Absolutely not.
And I think your message is appropriate at this time of year. Thank you. It's family and friends and love and cookies that matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you,
You
Paulette.
have a wonderful holiday,
You too.
and we'll listen to you next year.
Thank you, Paulette.
Okay,
Thank you, everybody. Have the most wonderful of holidays. I'm Leo Laporte, the Tech Guy. Have a great Geek Week. Bye-bye. Well, that's it for the Tech Guy Show for today. Thank you so much for being here. And don't forget, it's just the tip of the iceberg. We do nearly 30 shows on the Netcast network. It's called TWIT, T-W-I-T. It stands for This Week in Tech, and you'll find it at twit.tv, including the podcasts for this show. We talk about Windows on Windows Weekly, Macintosh on Mac Break Weekly, iPads, iPhones, Apple Watches on iOS Today, security on Security Now. I mean, I can go on and on and on. You even get your daily dose of tech news with Tech News Today. And, of course, the big show every Sunday afternoon, This Week in Tech. You'll find it all at twit.tv. And I'll be back next week with another great Tech Guys show. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.